you to live an unhealthy lifestyle under our roof.
I'm not perverted. I get good grades. I go to church. I'm a cheerleader. Her melody.
You don't have any pictures of guys in your locker, just these.
Please.
All right.
You don't even like to kiss me.
It's true.
Honey, we think you're a
Lesbian.
Her melody.
I was once a gay. I work for a place called True Directions who help people like yourself.
like Homosexuals Anonymous.
Swish, 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 swish. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I work in retail. I'm homosexual.
I'm Graham, and I like girls a lot.
Dolph, homosexual varsity wrestler. Hey, now lean in and kiss her. Little tongue.
That's sick. You're right. I am a homosexual, but I'll be regular soon.
And here is our happy couple at home.
I can't wait to be straight.
Come on, come on.
Natasha Lyonne, Clea Duvall, RuPaul Charles, Eddie Cibrian, and Kathy Moriarty in a comedy
Who wants to go down with me?
about sexual disorientation.
Mrs. Brown,
What is it, Joe?
what about foreplay?
No. Real men go in, unload, and pull out.
But I'm a cheerleader.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Happy December. First movie of December.
Okay. Okay, we're closing out the year.
Yeah.
In style.
We got a good one today.
We do. I've been waiting
They're
for
all
this for
good
a while.
ones. Yes.
Every episode is a good one. No duds. But this is going to be an extra fun one. Everybody listening, my name's Pete.
And I'm Scott, and these are the movies that made us gay.
Yes, indeed.
Pete, I invited a friend, an old coworker of mine from Trader Joe's.
Yes.
It hit me towards the end of when she was leaving the store that I'm like, I need to invite my friend Zoe on.
Yes.
Zoë Secrest, welcome to the show.
Hi, it's so nice to be here.
Welcome to the
Thank you
So
so much for
I
having
reached out
me.
to you
course.
of wanting to come onto the show, and you immediately said yes. And the first movie that you said was "But I'm a Cheerleader."
Honestly, Scott, when you asked me, I was like, I've been waiting for this moment for months.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, a million times yes.
So we got.
Great.
I no longer work with you anymore because you're going to school, but we caught you on like Thanksgiving break.
Just popped back for a couple days.
And we
Fun.
just watched the movie. So, But I'm a Cheerleader, directed by Jamie Babbitt, released July 7th, the year 2000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, yeah, I have not seen this movie since I was probably 17 years old.
Right.
And it's one of those things that I remember. I definitely remember watching this movie, but I think that I blocked this movie out of just sort of being repressed, closeted teenager that
Too real.
yeah.
it was a little too real.
I'll
and
do with that about a decade.
there was a lot of this movie that I did not remember.
Okay. All right.
And it holds up really well. I think it is
It does.
very
Yeah.
it's a very charming movie with
Yes.
a lot to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about you guys? When did you first watch this movie?
I think I was probably about like 16, 17 as well, and I think that's how long it's been. So it's been about like a decade since
Yeah.
I've seen it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does hold up really well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Still really funny.
Nothing overtly like offensive. Like it's
Right.
very
No,
self-aware.
It's a
of-
very
yeah.
well done satire.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
also it's kind of steeped itself in the, in the ex-gay like transformation center or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of steeped in this very like mid-century kind of 60s like motif because they're talking about those like traditional gender values and all that.
Outdated.
So that kind of like art direction kind of lends itself to almost being a little bit more timeless.
It ages really
because
well.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to look retro,
Right.
and it's like
So it
and
never
its
looks out of
decor.
place.
Yeah. So it's not like, oh my god, this movie is so 2000. It
Yeah.
doesn't look 2000 at all. Like
Yeah.
it just looks today like an independent movie. you know?
Yeah.
And I think that like those mid-century motifs of you know, the traditional roles in the pink girls' room and all that stuff, it's just like, it's brilliant art direction, but it also just lends itself to this movie kind of lasting so long.
Yeah.
Because I think that, I mean, while 1999 is the best movie year ever, and we've decided that, you know, great movies have come from this era, a lot of movies, especially maybe like movies geared towards this age range, do look very dated.
Yeah.
You can really tell,
when
like,
you, when you
that
watch
movie's from the year
when you watch a
2000.
movie like She's All That,
Yeah.
it just screams late 90s.
Yeah. So,
She's All That with Clea Duvall.
Yes,
Clea
there
Duvall
we
was in
go.
all of these movies at this time.
She really was.
She was in
Yeah.
She's All That.
She was busy.
She
The
was.
Faculty.
Busy girl. Yeah.
I mean, the year before this came out, and I think this even came out in 1999 because I think it went to film festivals in 99.
Oh, okay, sure.
And then they put it in theaters summer of 2000. Released
This
by
had to have a
Lionsgate.
very small theater run. I can't imagine that this was very wide.
Small theater run, but I think it did pretty well for an
Okay.
independent movie. I think it probably grossed back its budget
Okay.
just because it was a pretty small production. An early Lionsgate movie. I think that Lionsgate had only existed for a few years up until this point. And I remember Clea Duvall was somebody that I was very familiar with. I remember her when she was on Buffy. She was the Invisible Girl.
Oh, okay.
Kind
she had
of-
a Freak of the Week storyline?
She had a Freak of the Week storyline of a girl that went invisible.
Okay.
And was sort of haunting the school and picking on all of her old bullies.
Yeah.
And I remember being really invested in Clea Duvall just because I just thought that she was so interesting.
Yeah.
And there was just no other young actor like her. I remember she had done Girl Interrupted like the year before this came out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she had. I think she really just, to me, she just seemed like that ultimate cool girl that
Yes.
I'm like,
100%.
I would love to be friends with her. I don't know if I'll be able to break in there.
I'm a little
because
scared.
I don't know if I'm cool enough. Yeah,
Right, I'm a little scared, but it makes me want to be her friend even
Yes.
more. That was my thought 100% seeing this movie. I was like, ooh, she's different.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like you said, she did the rounds in all these movies, so it's like you knew she was super cool and all that. But she's great. I mean, we should really break down this cast because this cast is kind of amazing.
So, do you remember first watching this movie, Pete?
Yeah, we'll go back to our first watching. I mean, I just know I rented it. I don't have a specific like where I was, but I know I just rented it because I did not catch this in the theater. And yeah, just thought it was really funny. I mean, the thing is, you know, Rue is kind of a supporting character in this movie, RuPaul.
Yep.
An important character in this movie. But, you know, we always have to kind of break down. This is pre-Drag Race.
Yes.
You know, you always got to throw
You know,
that out there with RuPaul
Kind
projects,
of going into
right,
this
you
movie
know?
at the time, you didn't really have a context for RuPaul outside of drag.
Well,
too.
of course, yeah.
Yes.
You never really saw him with, you know,
doing little
Attempting to
character
butch.
bits.
yeah, or just the RuPaul Charles air quotes. No wig, bald head. You know, it was one of the first times I think the general public was like, "Oh, he doesn't have no hair.
You can do stuff out of a wig and lipstick. Crazy.
Yeah, and you know, facial hair and all that stuff." So yeah, pre RuPaul's Drag Race, but still widely known as RuPaul, the you know drag performer, supermodel of the world. But you know, just in this performance was just like, "Oh my goodness, this is crazy." So you just know it's camp, and then just kind of seeing Mink Stole, I was just like, okay.
Natasha Lyonne's parents, Mink Stole, like John Waters' Treasure.
Yeah.
She's in pretty much all of his movies.
I read that she actually is in one of the few actors to be in like
And
all
everything.
of his
Yeah,
movies.
I can't think
so.
of anything she's not in.
And Bud Cort. What
Yeah.
movie parents
yeah, from Harold and Maude.
from Harold and Maude?
Yes, and I mean, we're going to bring up connections later on, but Bud Cort is also in The Rules of Attraction with two other actors from this movie.
Yeah.
So a little preview. We're going to be doing Rules of Attraction in the next episode, and there's a lot of actor crossover this month.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like I saw this. I knew it was going to be something that I would enjoy. Just from the trailers, I love Natasha Lyonne. You know, I knew that RuPaul was in it, but kind of seeing this movie begin. And right out of the gate, I'm like, okay, we've got Mink Stole, we've got Bud Cort, we've got RuPaul. This movie's for me. You know, it's an indie movie. It's a little small thing. This subject matter is kind of serious subject matter, you know, but dealt with in a really fun way. So I immediately just kind of was like, wow, that was great. That was great. And what was kind of interesting to me is that, also this is the year 2000, so this is like pre like Brokeback Mountain, and like
Sure.
it's kind of before
queer cinema became so mainstream with a movie like that,
or like prestige movies or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to gays of a certain age had to sift through a lot of really bad gay movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so to come across a funny one was good, was great, and then to come across one that was primarily a girl-based,
Sure.
a lesbian-based movie was like, okay, this is cool too. And there were boys in it, and they're kind of played up for like camp,
but the like queer woman couple centric. I find myself having to sift through such trash media,
Absolutely.
like one that's not rife with toxic relationships, like some sort of terrible age dynamic. The lesbian relationship media landscape can be a desolate place.
Yeah. So I feel like I just watched this and was just like, oh my god, where has this movie been?
Literally,
yeah.
It clicked as soon as like they walked into the house and I saw all the like the perfect interior design, everything painted the same. I was just like, okay, I'm here.
We're in.
Checking
we got
in.
this.
Clocking in.
Yeah. And it just kind of makes me think like this director, you said she's doing a lot of TV now.
She directs a lot of TV.
A lot of film work under her belt. But I don't know how successful this was, like money-wise. So I don't know. Maybe they were just like...
Well, also just sort of different standards for a female director.
Right,
but she did kind of fell back to TV. I mean, she has directed episodes of Gilmore Girls. She later worked with Natasha on Russian Dolls. Oh. She directed Girls, Silicon Valley, Only Murders in the Building that just came out this year.
That's
so
Steve Martin one,
I think that she did some Nora from Queen. So she's a pretty heavy hitter.
She's done some like high profile TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that she kind of created the idea of this movie. Her mother used to run a rehabilitation 12-step program. So sort of the seed of this movie was, I want to make a movie that's set in a version of a 12-step program.
Right,
and she was a lesbian, and she developed this movie with her then girlfriend.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine your mother running a 12-step program?
Yes.
Oh my god,
chaotic,
that's heavy.
a little bit.
Yeah, chaotic.
And like your maybe like dinner table conversations might be a little too, I don't know, cutting personal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, let's break down this cast first of all, because we're going to talk about kind of like the main, storyline of this movie. Well, maybe we'll do a quick couple sentence description.
Sure.
Can you give us like two sentences to describe? You don't have to do like names or anything. How would you describe this movie to someone who's never seen it before?
I would say a teenage girl by the name of Megan, played by Natasha Lyonne, is suspected of being a lesbian by her friends and parents, and she is sent to a rehabilitation program that is set on this farm.
Uh-huh.
And she meets all of these young people that are struggling with their sexuality, and they sort of discover their true selves while in the midst of this program.
Okay.
And this is sort of in the context of social satire, too.
Sure.
While the subject matter is treated very seriously, it's done in a very funny way.
Yeah.
Very like accessible and easy to understand as well, I find.
Yeah,
like not too heavy but still true to the subject matter.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And talking about this movie being from the year 2000, we have a lot of straight actors playing these like queer characters. I'm okay with it because I love Natasha Lyonne.
I love her too, but honestly, just as a queer woman, thinking about her being with Fred Armisen just makes like me die a little bit inside.
I was just
maybe that's heterophobic of
me,
but like I'm sorry, it hurts me.
No, I was just gonna say, can we talk about her weird relationship?
When I found that out, I was like gobsmacked.
Yeah. Is she currently with?
Yes, they've been together since 2014.
So he went from Elizabeth Moss
to
Natasha Lyonne.
He was like, Scientology is just too much for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey,
Natasha's a pretty cool chick, though.
I would say so.
So around this time, was she still seeing Eddie?
I don't
Eddie
know
Furlong?
the timeline of her and Eddie Furlong being together, but
seems like... I think that they were still together when they made Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I think that she was just coming off that movie.
Okay.
And I think that she got hooked up with this project from Clea.
Oh, okay.
That they were friends at the time, and she noticed the script for But I'm a Cheerleader in her car, and she was like, "What's this? It looks really interesting. Do you mind if you mention to the director that I would be interested in playing the lead role?"
Okay.
Because I think that Clea was more or less confirmed as Graham when she found out about the movie.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the two of them as friends.
Oh, yeah.
Again, a really cool kid table that I feel like I would walk by and just be like, "Hi, guys."
Yeah. Okay, gotta run.
Yeah.
And there's
You
just
need anything? No? You good? All right.
And there's just
I'll just be over there.
and there's just a quality about Natasha that I think that Kirsten Dunst was mentioning it on when she was doing the Vanity Fair like retrospect of her career. That for child actors that are really successful, there's an old soul quality about them.
Absolutely.
And Natasha, ever since she was a child, definitely had this old soul.
And that Pack-A-Day voice
Yeah.
that we love so much. Truly iconic.
Yes.
I loved her as a kid when she was the babysitter in Dennis the Menace.
Oh, was she
And
in
she
that,
was
in the
making it with
movie?
Buzz
Oh, okay.
from Home Alone.
Was that pre or post Slums of Beverly Hills? I think,
it was pre.
That was the earliest that I
And
I ever saw her
same.
in.
Slums of Beverly Hills was a big deal for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when that movie came out, Tamara Jenkins.
And that was Natasha and David Krumholtz.
Yeah, so kind of instead of doing... I mean, she did do your teen movies of the late 90s because she's in American
Pie. Yes.
There's a lot going on with that character in American Pie, which is very interesting.
Yes.
But she definitely did the types of roles for young people, but they were just a little different, though. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if those were the kinds of roles that she just gravitated to, or they just kind of molded to her personality.
Yeah.
Just
like
being,
she's
like
kind
you
of
said.
a quirky character.
Yeah.
Yes.
Herself. Mm-hmm.
Just kind of having this like Fran Lebowitz kind of like attitude about her. Just like, all right, I'm here.
A little cynic edge thing going on. This is like I think the most Sweetest Pie character that she's probably ever
Absolutely.
played.
Yeah. I would say against type even. Yeah. But it kind of makes it even funnier. I
Yes.
think that we know that it's Natasha playing this just to think about her being a cheerleader,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and showing up in like a man's suit.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
something,
Now
you know?
wearing tailored
Yes.
pantsuits. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the idea that a cheerleader is going to be your main character who's struggling with her sexuality.
Right.
That you have something
Yeah.
that is very super feminine.
Yeah.
And you usually don't think of lesbians being cheerleaders, but you're this girl is surrounded by all of these beautiful high school girls, so it makes sense for the story.
Well, I would like to say that, you know, we'll get to it later on. Julie Delpy is in this movie, and Julie Delpy is listed in the credits as lipstick lesbian.
Yes.
Which is like, I don't know, can we even say that anymore? Does anybody say that anymore? I feel like that's such a, like, I don't know.
It's such an early 2000s term.
Yeah, it's a little outdated, but I feel like
Yeah.
I still think of that sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
femme
something-
for femme, like that's
Right, yeah. But one of the first things that I thought of as we're watching this movie is, oh my God, I totally forgot Michelle Williams is in this movie.
Yeah, it would have been probably one of her first movies that she would have got before she did Dawson's Creek.
God, is it before Dawson's
I mean,
Creek?
I think Dawson's Creek was like 98.
Wow.
And this probably would have been shot in
So
like
probably around that time.
winter of
Yeah.
98.
But she has that really short cropped haircut.
she's supposed to be one of the straight friends narking
Yeah.
on her, and yet she's got a
man.
cute little queer short haircut.
It's kind of momish in the way it's styled.
Very
but
much.
that's
It's like
that.
mom jeans and a hairdo. I
Yes,
think.
exactly. It's that late 90s, you know, what can you do? But it's so funny because, you know, she's kind of known now for having like this short, like little pixie cut.
Yeah.
But with that platinum job just does wonders. It just like
Yeah.
changes her whole
Yes.
face around from this like little like smart mom haircut. But yeah, so she's on the cheerleading team with, you know, with Natasha, Megan. With Megan. And I love that the very like within the first 10 minutes of this movie, it's intervention.
yeah.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200
Yeah.
straight to intervention.
Yeah. But I think that's the kind of thing that's like charming about this movie. And I don't know, maybe families do have like homosexual interventions for their kids, but I think there's something a little John Waters about a family having a homosexual intervention.
This movie wouldn't exist without John Waters.
Totally.
Like it's everywhere. Sprinkled.
She just needed to be like pulled in a van.
Yeah, with like a butterfly net, like over her, yeah, something like that. Yeah. So this intervention at the beginning, her cheerleader friends, the boyfriend that's in this movie at the very beginning, constant making out.
Yeah,
it's like, oh man, they're going for it.
The look on Natasha's face when they're making
just
out
like,
too.
Take me away. Like, how can I leave my body right now?
Yeah,
like,
but these two, like as actors, they're just at some point they're looking at each other like, all right,
it's like we got 10th take. We gotta.
I'm sticking my tongue down your throat.
Are we cool? Okay,
but it works. It's what makes it so funny. It's just so the over the top quality of
because even as a woman who likes boys or who likes men as well, I have definitely been in that situation. Like, are we serious? Are we really doing this right now? Like, take me away. Like,
yeah, totally. And it's so funny the way it's played because it's like they're having these really gross makeout sessions, and you see her just like looking off into the distance.
Her mind is elsewhere.
Yeah. And we all laughed at the like slow pan of her bedroom.
The reveal of the Melissa
Etheridge poster. That's what gets me every single time.
Yeah.
And you've been trying to get us to eat tofu
in like a baggie. She's got like
the evidence, like the dirty evidence bag. Like,
yeah. But I mean, I know some people, like I have like coworkers or whatever who are just like, ugh, no, yuck, that's disgusting. But like at like a Thai restaurant, it's like, why did you come?
Yeah,
it's
come on.
Tofu.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not the gay agenda or the liberals trying to get you. It's just food. Come on.
You just don't have to eat it. It's really not that big of a deal. Promise.
But it's like there's really people out there who are like, oh, really? Tofu? Okay.
What's next to Subaru?
Yeah.
And a gift card for the DIY center?
Oh my God.
Yeah, right. Not on my watch.
A Subaru. I love it. Yeah. So, I mean, she gets shipped off pretty early.
Pretty quick
in this movie.
I love we were looking around at the locations of this movie, and we're just like looking it up online. Santa Clarita.
Yeah.
That checks out.
Long stretches of desolate, what once used to be farmland, but is now just dirt and sad yellow grass.
And but even Megan's like little neighborhood that she lives in the early shots of the movie, it's that very kind of like brand new but new in the 90s.
It's very
track homes.
Reminds me a lot of
thing.
It reminds me a lot of Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Yes, like a very drab version, like the neighborhood at least. Yeah.
Not
and
painted
also
pastel.
in all of her friends' clothes, her parents' clothes, and the decorations and like the wallpaper and furnishings inside the parents' house, it's all in browns and neutrals. And you notice it especially when the parents go to visit her and they're in this sea of like aqua and like fuchsia.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like,
and they're wearing all. I did notice that the parents were both wearing brown. I was like,
and Minxel was wearing something that was fashioned out of like a thrift store drape at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. But yeah, you're right. Even the friends, in the intervention. Oh man. So we go to what is the name of Kathy Moriarty's conversion?
True Directions.
True Directions. We were just talking about Kathy Moriarty, and I was mentioning that when I was a kid, I was obsessed with her in Casper. That she just has that beautiful, wispy voice.
I wouldn't say wispy. It's
like
raspy.
Raspy.
Another iconic
that's
raspy
what I mean.
voice.
Yeah. She's an icon when it comes to that voice. Kerrigan and Casper.
I wanted to be Kerrigan when I grew up in Casper. I
Yeah.
think she's so fabulous in that movie.
Yeah.
And she plays Mary J. Brown, the head of the... What's the...
True Directions.
True Directions.
Yeah.
With the help of Mike, who is RuPaul Charles.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And RuPaul as Mike only wears those gym teacher baseball coach shorts that are like
Lieutenant Dangle Reno 911
way too short,
thigh shorts.
Yeah, and a coach whistle and
the coach jacket,
coach jackets, and that's his and all in blue, baby blues,
and the Dante from Clerks facial hair, but cropped super. Your quintessential '90s male facial hair look, but just cropped super short.
Yes.
Very very neatly groomed.
Yeah, that goatee is oh boy.
What's his line that he says?
I don't remember at the very beginning. We'll have to find it. But yeah, he actually goes to Megan's home for the intervention. He's the one that's there.
I was once a gay.
Yeah,
that's
it.
How
Yeah.
he opens.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, listen, Megan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be all. He's giving very much like a youth pastor energy. Like, hey kids, listen up.
Definitely.
I was once a gay. Like,
Youth pastor for sure. Oh man. So when they do pull up to True Directions, it is just out in a field somewhere, but it is like a old Victorian house that's kind of painted like lilac and pink.
with the pink fence, like it's in a sea of dirt and gravel and nothing. This like hot pink fence going around it. The front yard isn't even like lush or anything like that.
Fake flowers.
Oh yeah, that
fake flowers in the flower
that
bed.
she spritzes and wipes clean.
Yes. Yeah. Mary J. Brown is amazing. Everything in this house is covered in plastic. You know, she's constantly feather dusting, you know, spritzing, Windexing.
As she should.
As she should.
As is her role.
This is true. But yeah, True Directions, like we were saying, is kind of this like grotesque parody of this like 60s American home ideal, or like early 60s, late 50s, I would
and
say.
doing it in the home is like also very much like it makes total sense that it's in a home.
A house.
The epitome of enforcing gender roles.
Domesticity.
The girls have to be girls and the boys have to be boys.
Yeah,
and you're not going to go outside of that box.
Yeah. But this is 5 steps. It's not 12 steps, it's only 5. And that's kind of, the movie's kind of broken up into like the steps as we
I have them all written in my notes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
But I like when she first arrives and she's like, you know, step 1 is admitting that you're a homosexual, right? But until you do that, you have to wear like these ugly robes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a hospital gown.
Yeah, with those, like sad, like psych ward scrub shoes.
Yeah,
like
yeah. But it's interesting that the first like inmate or whatever that we meet is Melanie Linsky.
She plays Hillary.
Playing Hillary.
I like that they just keep Melanie Linsky's Kiwi accent.
Love her Kiwi
because she
accent.
has a beautiful. She has a beautiful accent, so just have her speak in a regular voice.
Yeah, that's what we all noticed right off the bat. We're like, oh, okay, she's just going for it. All right, why cover it up?
Okay. Rise and shine at 7. Breakfast at 8. Group therapy until lunch. Now in the afternoon, we have free time to do, whatever. And then we move inside for reorientating exercises. Family therapy on the weekends. You didn't miss much, really.
And I know this director was a huge fan of Heavenly Creatures.
Sure. Okay. As you should be.
As everyone should be.
Obviously.
Yeah, and Melanie's performance.
Speaking of girl performances that are toxic. Speaking of toxic dynamics.
Totally. But, you know, soon we get introduced to all the other kids at True Directions, as well as the only other staff person, Mary's son, Rock, played by Eddie Cibrian. We have to talk about.
Yeah. We gotta talk. We need to talk.
Yeah.
Those, like, that ass on that guy.
So I actually was reading that Eddie Cibrian had a really hard time filming this because he had to smuggle 2 basketballs and a pair of thrift store cutoffs for the entirety of filming.
I mean, what a chore, man. The cutoffs that he's wearing are so short, and his ass is so fat.
Oh, yeah. It's like a melon.
It's crazy. And we were kind of going through this, like, where do we know Eddie Cibrian? What would we remember him from? I said that he is a rich man's Dean Cain.
Sure.
But Scott, you said that he was on Sunset Beach, which was
he was on Sunset Beach. Like I said, that was a poor man's Melrose Place.
Yeah,
I feel
Dean Cain, poor
on a poor man's Melrose Place.
What are you gonna do?
And did he break up a marriage with?
He did. Hilary Duff.
Hillary Duff. Wow.
No, not Hillary Duff.
Leanne Rimes. Right?
Leanne Rimes. Sorry, Hillary Duff.
Yeah.
I think that they're still married.
I think they are. Yeah.
Now, was it over? Like, weren't they making like a made-for-TV movie at the time?
They both look like they're made for me.
Weren't they? Yeah. Weren't him and
and Leanne.
Leanne making like a Lifetime movie or something.
And they were both married.
Yeah.
And they had an
A
illicit
scandalo.
affair. Yeah.
I think they're still hitched, too.
And then it was one of those things where the two of them, where it was like major weird PDA and like weird
yeah, there was all
social
of
media
all these
posts, and you're
paparazzi
like,
photos
all
that
right.
came out. Yeah.
What year was this?
I think it was like the late 2000s, around like 2008, 2009.
Yeah, I'll have to look that one up. But yeah, that was definitely a thing with the two of them. And I mean, yeah, Eddie Cibrian, he was never like super A-list or anything, so I'm sure it was kind of maybe a Hallmark movie, a Christmas movie, something like that. Yeah,
We love a himbo in a Hallmark movie.
I mean, yeah,
I'm saying.
And put him in these cutoffs, and we'll watch it even faster.
Oh, and those dimples are just way too much. Too cute.
He kind of reminds me of Mark Consuelos too. There's
Sure.
a little like Mark Consuelos in there too.
Yeah, I can see that. Let's see. Rhimes' marriage to Sharma ended in 2009 following press coverage of her extramarital affair with actor Eddie Cibrian. Well, she worked with him on Northern Lights, a Lifetime made-for-TV movie. And Eddie Cibrian was married at the time to Real Housewife of Beverly Hills, Brandi Glanville.
That's right.
Cuckoo clock extraordinaire.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. Brandi
He couldn't get away from
Brandi
the gay stuff and had to
Yeah.
reach
Yes.
a decade into the future.
Yes. So Leanne Rhimes drove Brandi Glanville crazy. She drove her to Denise Richards.
Yep.
Straight into that.
I'm still team Denise over that whole thing.
I mean, that's a whole other episode
Yeah.
of the podcast. Which, listeners, if you want to hear more,
Like and subscribe.
yeah, maybe we'll do a Real Housewives exclusive content. But yeah, Eddie Cibrian, rock. Okay, so he's Mary's son. He works at True Directions, and he is queer as the night is long.
I think
as
that
a $3 bill.
Well, and I think that Mary J. Brown, like, she knows that he's almost a lost cause, so she's just gonna have him do yard
She's
work.
really like short with him and very, always frustrated. Rock, get back here. Oh yeah, she definitely knows it's the beginning of the end.
Rock tempting all of the boys
Drinking out of swirly
that
straws.
are there.
Yeah,
Yep. Mhm.
that little cup with the
That
swirly
little-
straw. I was dying. And Rock is really kind of tempting RuPaul.
Yeah.
Mike. Yeah.
Mhm.
Rock really tempts Mike a lot. And you can, that's kind of like a through line throughout the movie, which I love. It's just so funny because even out of drag, even when RuPaul is dressed in this like Coach costume, he still just has those like long, skinny, like
Gangly.
womanly legs.
Those beautiful legs.
Those long dancer's
he
legs.
just knows how to like move his body
Yeah.
more in that medium. And so even when he's down there working on the car and like these big long spindly legs are sticking out, it's like, oh my god, it's still RuPaul under there.
Yeah.
But the boy characters kill me. They're killing me. I mean,
So we get Joel Michaely, who plays Joel. He's the Jewish kid. Joel, you kind of saw in a lot of teen movies at this time. He was in Can't Hardly Wait.
he wasn't Can't Hardly
And a few
Wait.
more.
Yeah.
He's one of the nerds on top of the garage in that movie. There is Douglas Spain, who plays Andre. He's the Latin character.
Yeah.
And Dante Basco plays Dolph. Rufio. Who you might be seeing show back up on this podcast later in the month.
Rufio.
And Clayton, he's like the handsome blonde,
All-American
jock, played by Kip Pardue.
Yes. Kip Pardue, who was a big deal at this time.
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of buzz behind that one and never quite materialized. And then I was reading that there were some sort of inappropriate stalkerish issues in it.
Oh my goodness.
And it's probably why you
bad.
don't see a lot of Kip Pardue in movies these days.
Maybe not.
I mean, I remember Rules of Attraction, and then there was that whole thing where his character in the movie went off to Europe, and they shot a whole bunch of like
They had
B-roll
that
of him in Europe, and then they had so much B-roll that they made an extra movie about it, and he was like in character the whole time, and you're like, weird.
I'm excited for that scene of Rules of Attraction when we get there next week because it's a very interesting.
I just remembered all that.
It's a very
Right, this
interesting
very moment.
sequence.
Blast.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
I have seen it before, but it is
So the character
quite
goes
long.
to Europe
Yeah.
and you see all of these European adventures. It's like a 7-minute
It's a
section of the
montage,
movie
yeah.
and it's all sped up.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Got to pack that whole Europe trip in a short
but,
amount of time.
But then there's like a special feature or something. They made like a feature-length movie out of all the footage.
Hey,
and
did you
like
wish that
a short
7
film.
minutes of Europe would have taken a whole hour and a half? Have we got the thing for you, sister? Buckle up.
But then the whole thing was that like Kip Pardue was like, gallivanting across Europe in character and just like filming himself and all that.
Trying
like,
the whole method action situation.
But it's a Bret Easton Ellis character, so you're like, maybe don't do that.
So
maybe not a good idea to cut yourself off from the full spectrum of human emotion.
Totally. Yeah. So, and Kip Pardue, like, at this time, he's a great looking kid. He's in his mid-20s. He was a model.
I think he was an Abercrombie model.
I mean, what else would you do with that look besides be an Abercrombie? That's he's literally born for it.
Yeah. So I was very kind of like fascinated and just kind of like, okay, where's this career going to go? And then it just didn't really take, kind of stalled after a while. But he's funny in this movie. He's kind of making the rounds in this movie, though. If you look, he's mostly, teamed up with Dolph. Yeah, but I think
mask for mask things.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And I mean Dante Basco, we love him.
He's
very cute Filipino.
Yeah, he's a very cute person.
Yeah,
but be quiet. That's
rude.
Siri's yelling at us. So, who else do we have in the girls' cabin?
We had Jan, Katrina Phillips, and Jan is
Jan. I love Jan. The ultra butch. Jan's the ultra butch girl with the mohawk and the mustache.
Yeah.
I love that she fully just has a mustache.
Catherine Town plays Sinead. Of course, her name is Sinead, and she's the goth girl.
She's the goth girl, yeah.
And then Clea Duvall is Graham. And I think that's it for all of the girls.
Okay, so we were talking about Clea and how kind of like prolific she was in the teen movies in this era. And, what a cool chick she was. And we're like, yeah, we love Clea. We all want to be her friend. And it's like, at the time, I feel like, to me, I was just like, okay, well, obviously, this chick's gay. In a lot of the movies, that's the kind of character she plays. She kind of gets bullied for it in The Faculty. Don't they call her kind of...
Yeah.
Don't they kind of call her out for that? And then here she is in this. Clea Duvall does not come out publicly until 2016.
Yeah, that's wild.
Well, that's around the same time that Natasha Lyonne came out as straight with Fred Armisen.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And according to Clea's Wikipedia, she was quoted as saying that she was deeply in the closet during the making of this movie.
So there's a little like Ellen Page going on, Elliot Page.
Yeah. So it's like, and that's got to be so rough, especially with the subject matter of this movie.
Like, there's levels. It's a movie about closeted cases, and you're a closet case a little bit.
Yeah, it's totally like, homophobic Inception.
I'm not gay. I'm like sticking my tongue down Natasha Lyonne's throat.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what the deal is with Joel Michaely exactly when he came out, but he could have been going through something similar himself.
Yeah.
They were all young.
Yeah, totally. And people have talked about it. Actors have talked about it. Actors that have just come out recently and stuff talking about, at the time.
Different climate.
Yeah, totally. Who just came out? Elvira just came out. Yeah, that was great news.
That was awesome. Just in time for Halloween.
Yeah. Oh, Cal Penn.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I feel like Cal Penn, that I feel like if you really dug deep in the internet, the rumors were there, but I don't think that a lot of people knew, though.
I remember reading that he made a lot of effort to keep his private life very much private.
Yeah. And I think also from Mean Girls.
Daniel Frenzy?
All of them.
All of them.
Daniel Frenzy. And
and also the Indian Kid.
And the Indian Kid.
Kevin Kapoor.
Yeah. He just came out recently, too. And the main boy, it's October 3rd.
Aaron Samuels.
Yeah. And they all three of them have talked about, at that time, all of the representation was like, nope.
Yeah.
You will not come out.
You're going to play football.
Yeah, if you want to work, don't do it. Yeah, so it's like I'm sure it's definitely a lot of.
It's got to be hard and dealing with all that at that young of an age, and then like it's your career and your money are dependent on this to a degree. That's a really tough place to be. To be in.
Yeah, and even for somebody like Clea, who maybe it might seem a little bit more obvious. I think maybe like Aaron Samuels, it was like a little bit like I didn't know.
I wouldn't have guessed.
I wouldn't have
Sure.
guessed. But like for Daniel Friends AC and for Clea and all that, it's just like, oh, this sucks. You just have to not officially say anything, right? Just like, be ambiguous. I don't talk about my personal life, Ricky Martin. Just like
I mean, it's worked for Jodie Foster all these years.
And she never came out. She's just like, here I am at home with this woman.
She had her weird Golden Globe speech that was like
kind of
talking about why she shouldn't have to come out.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think at this point Jodie's just like, I'm not going to actually say the "yup, I'm gay" speech, but it's just like, y'all know we're all adults here.
And like Jodie Foster doesn't have to she's like I don't even have to deal with this.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, everybody can't get to that point, but yeah. But I mean, we're glad that Clea Duvall officially did come out eventually.
Yes.
But
I really enjoyed. Have you seen The Happiest Season?
I have not, because
movie?
it looked like a whole mess.
I really liked it.
It plays out like a very well produced and better written like cable holiday movie.
Okay, gotcha.
Dan
Levy,
writes, and Kristen Stewart.
And
Aubrey
speaking of
Plaza,
Kay Stu, a gay icon,
kind of gay icon, just nonchalantly just announced her engagement as she was doing press for Spencer.
Yeah,
and I feel like it was just sort of a non-event.
Yeah, total non-event. Yeah,
I can imagine that might be kind of nice for somebody who's had their sexuality speculated upon for such a long time to just be like, I don't have to pander to you wanting to do a big rigmarole,
and especially for
Totally.
her that she was in such a high-profile straight relationship with Robert Pattinson.
Our Pats,
yeah,
man,
for so long, yeah. So just it's just the changing landscape of how some people don't even really officially come out anymore. Some people wait a little bit longer, who we've all kind of known about for a long time. But it's refreshing now. But yeah, The Happiest Season is great. Like we said, gay icons, Kay Stu, Dan Levy, Aubrey Plaza, and Clea directed
Mary
it.
Steenburgen. Victor Garber is in it.
Clea directed it,
yes.
But she didn't write it.
She may have written it.
Okay. Oh, and another homosexual icon that I noticed when this movie ended, the very first producer credit in the credits was Liana Creel. Liana Creel, as some people may remember her, was Tori on Saved by the Bell. She was Tori on Saved by the Bell, who was notoriously kind of questionable because she always wore a leather motorcycle jacket.
She always wore a Wilson's leather motorcycle jacket.
Wilson Swing
and
leather.
in like kid television terms, that means that she's the bad girl.
Yes.
But Leah has gone on to come out as gay, as queer, and she's actually part of identical triplets. In the late 90s. Her and her sisters, I think they had a sitcom for a while, just kind of based on like, we're triplets.
So quirky.
Yeah, very quirky. And she's kind of gone on to do like behind the scenes stuff. But she was an actor
Do we know if any of the other triplets are gay? Sometimes that stuff runs in families.
Yep.
It does, but I don't believe. I know one of them for a fact is like married to a man and has children. And I'm not sure about the second one, so maybe one of them is.
There's still hope.
At least Liana is. Yeah.
Update on The Happiest Season: Clea Duvall co-wrote that with Mary Holland, who was also in that movie. The sister
in it. Yeah, they're really funny. Yeah. So, okay. And Clea Duvall and Melanie Linsky have both been judges on RuPaul's Drag Race.
I think that in the same season. I think they were both a judge on season 11.
Oh, really?
Like episodes that were right next to each other.
Oh, that's funny.
And also, Melanie Linsky, are you talking about it's Natasha.
Oh, I thought Melanie was
I don't think Melanie's ever judged, but it was definitely Natasha.
Natasha judged.
Because she did like their improv
she
police
directed
officer
it.
challenge.
Yeah. She directed it. Okay, with got it. That was a fun episode. Okay, all right. It's all like they're all like falling into place with each other.
And you remember when Natasha did RuPaul's podcast?
Yes.
And I think that's when she told the story of getting the script for But I'm a Cheerleader from Clea.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't remember that. I remember that she was on it and that it was a fun episode. I miss the old RuPaul podcast. Because she had good guests. It was usually
the
guest judges from Drag Race,
like on their lunch break and just had a little chat with them.
Yeah. And Natasha's just a kooky.
And Natasha's
kooky
career
person.
is so fascinating because she fell off the wagon in like the mid 2000s, and then she just got her shit together and is super successful now. Has shows, multiple Emmy nominations for Orange is the New Black and Russian Dolls.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's interesting because people always, when they talk about like the celebrity like redemption story, you automatically go to Robert Downey Jr. But I feel like she had just as big of arc as far as
serious mental illness that she overcame,
and addiction and all of that, and really coming back into the mainstream and being a major, like bigger than she was before.
Right, like she's knocking it out of the park with the things that she's doing from that point on.
Yeah, killing it. Yes, it's crazy. I guess just cutting Eddie Furlong out of your life will do that. I guess. Oh my god. So yeah, I just found that interesting about Clea, that I read that she didn't officially come out until 2016, which I was like, whoa, blown away. But different time. I think she's a little bit older than me. I think she's probably about 47 right now.
I think Clea's. I think Clea's your age.
You think she's about my age? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and especially coming from
Clea was born in 77.
77. Okay.
Yep.
Acting as long as she has, it was such a different landscape in the 90s. So, yeah. And just watching this movie, you're just like,
and probably
scenes, I'm just like, oh my god.
Even though Clea did work a lot at this time, that I definitely remember seeing her in a lot of stuff. But I would imagine that Clea probably got a lot of, you look too much like a lesbian and we're not going to cast you.
Right.
And these
unless they were
types of movies
specifically
about young
looking
people.
for that.
Yeah. Like in the fact.
Maybe that, they probably wouldn't have said those words to her, but I'm sure
or
that
they
probably.
You don't know how bold they'll get.
We're going to be going in a very different direction for this character. Thanks for reading.
Yeah. Megan and, what is her name? Halsey?
Graham?
Hugo Graham. Yeah.
Close enough.
I know there's an H in there somewhere. Graham is a little antagonistic just because she's kind of the most like not buying into
from the beginning. She's like, this is a load. This is a load of crap.
Yeah. I don't think any of the boys are really into it. Yeah. Really only Melanie Linsky's character is into it.
And she seems like she's the kind of girl who would like remind the teacher that didn't collect the homework.
Yes, totally.
Seems like she's very much trying to be like the perfect teacher's pet.
Didn't you say we're going to have a quiz today?
Yeah, literally.
I feel like Joel is the one guy that tries to fake it the best.
He
out of
wishes.
all of them.
He really wishes.
Yeah.
And also Graham's parental situation is very, very grim.
Yeah.
Of when you see all of their parents.
Yeah.
And her parents are portrayed as the most cruel of them all.
Cold, just you better figure this out or else. Wait, he says like no Europe, no trust fund. Dad just lays it out there. He's got your classic like mid-century dad scowl in his voice, and he's just, you better figure this out. Like, and then that's where they're all disclosing their roots. And I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't at least touch on. What are y'all's roots? When did you first have an inkling?
Our root? Yeah, what is my root? Oh, gosh.
Well, I can go first if you need a second to think, because I actually have mine in my back
Yeah,
pocket.
go for it. Let's do it.
I was 9, and I saw the music video to Blink-182's Feeling This. And it's a, like, school setting, and the girls are all... This is how also, like, I know this is, like, my root for being into, like, alt-goth chicks, too.
Sure, yeah.
All the girls are, like, short, kind of, like, messy, like, black hair. They're, like, ripping off their uniforms and running outside. They're trashing the school. There's not much of a storyline there.
Yeah.
But a lot of girls who look like they would yell at me are running around with their tops off, and I was like, I think this is something. Like, this feels different.
Very on brand for Blink-182 at this time.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I mean, I mentioned it in episode 3 of our show for Overboard. Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell on Overboard. Standing in front of that closet.
With his tank top.
Yeah.
That's like cut all the way down. Yeah, that's a good one. God, what is it for me? Maybe I'm going to say probably Superman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wearing his underwear on the outside.
And we did entire episodes on Superman and Kurt Russell.
Yes, yes, we've definitely focused on both of those root issues.
Oh, I can only imagine how many roots sprouted from those seeds.
Oh, man. And I just hate that they call it like a root. What's your root?
Yeah, where did it all go wrong, really? And then Graham's is, my mom got married in pants. The beginning of the end.
That I died when she said that. My mother got married in pants. Oh my god. But then also going back to Graham's parental situation, what we learn is her stepmother leans in and is just like, "This is why your mom left.
Yeah.
You better get your shit together, because if not, you're gonna lose your dad too."
Yeah.
It's like
just laying on that trauma real thick.
Yeah. So it's like her mom left because Graham was too butch. It's like, oof, oh boy, that's rough. But yeah, I do have in my notes, my mother got married in pants. I'll go ahead and check that off. But yeah, when all their parents are there, it is kind of sad.
Yeah, I think all of the group introductions are really successful of when you get all of the introductions of these characters. I think that this screenplay is really nailing its tone.
Yeah.
Why don't we discuss the issues in your intervention?
Well, I'm a vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
I have pictures of women around.
You think that's normal?
Sure. I never really thought about it.
Have you ever had a boyfriend?
Yes. For 2 years, we've been going steady. I really love him. He's smart and popular.
He's got the biggest dick I've never seen.
Well, have you ever had sex with him? I'm a Christian. It's really easy to be a prude when you're not attracted to him, isn't it? He's very handsome.
But does he make you hot? I mean, do you think of him at night when you...
I'm not perverted. I get good grades. I go to church. I'm a cheerleader. I'm not like all of you. Everyone reads Cosmo. Everyone looks at other girls all the time.
But you only assume that they're thinking what you're thinking when they look. But they're not.
Well, when they do the little montage of like their kind of day-to-day activities, and the boys are watching Mike work on a car,
chopping wood,
yeah.
And it's one of those things of like enforcing gender roles, but the type of things that tend to go over the heads of these authority figures that kind of maybe watching like Mike work on this truck in his little short shorts.
It's not the best idea.
Maybe it's not the best idea.
To straighten these kids up.
Yeah.
It's just kind of enforcing gender roles for giving a kid a G.I. Joe or a soldier.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like a buff action figure.
Well,
Yes.
you know, they touch on it later on because we find out that just down the road is kind of like a gay halfway house, right? It's this gay couple that were former, residents of
Larry and Lloyd Morgan Gordon.
Morgan Gordon.
And they both have the hyphen last
Yes,
names.
they're both former.
We got a Knowles Carter situation.
Yeah, at True Directions, they've kind of broken free, so they're ex gays, and they're kind of there to take in anybody who kind of either gets kicked out or decides that they don't want to continue on at True
Or
Directions,
to take them on like clandestine, like outings to the gay bar, the cocksucker.
The cocksucker, yeah,
has like a 12-foot tall like plaster chicken rooster out front in case you weren't sure where it was.
Yeah, I love it. And but later on when Megan ends up there and she's just like, teach me how to be a lesbian. And it's just that same idea, but kind of inverted of what Mary J. Brown is teaching. But also it's just, for somebody like Megan who just doesn't have any idea or any context for being gay, and they're just trying to say like, there's no one way to be a lesbian. It's just you're you and you like girls, you know? So it's like they're kind of showing both sides.
I thought it was a very like tender and sweet and like
Yeah.
real moment because
Yeah.
as like growing up bi and not really knowing, I am 27. I have no idea how to talk to girls still. Like I don't know because like
Yeah.
I'm like dressed more feminine and have like a boyfriend who passes to be straight. So I still am in this like how do I do I need to make my undercut higher or like get a pair of Birks? Is that what I need to start doing?
Yeah,
Perhaps?
well, and I think that's the thing, you know, for young people, you know, when you first start to think like maybe I'm gay, you know, and it's just that thing of like, well, you know, I don't want to live that life. I don't want to like wear short shorts and be on a parade float and work in a flower shop.
Yeah.
You know? Because you think you have to do those things as a queer person.
Because like the dominant media image is being
Yes.
gay is a big old party,
Yeah.
and so much of the social scene is bars and like things
and nightlife. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and especially kind of for us, and I mean, around the time I was young, Queer as Folk was on
Yeah.
Showtime,
Oh my God,
and I felt like
remember
that
that.
was just like.
But even
this
that is clubs.
This is
Yeah.
like sort
I
of
have to just-
enforcing a lot of
Yeah.
stereotypes of being gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, or that Queer as Folk isn't a valid show, but it's just a very specific.
It's a snapshot of a time for sure.
I mean, I really remember when, you know, kind of my eyes were kind of opened up about like, I don't have to just go to West Hollywood.
There's all different types of
there are
gays out
other
there.
gay
Yep.
bars in
Mhm.
other towns that don't only play house music, you know, and have people in cages, you know. And
But it's so fun when they
it
play house
is
music.
very fun.
No, I mean, I have
Dancing
not
house
been to
music.
WeHo in probably like 5 years,
Yeah.
and I need a lot more personal space than
Yeah,
I used to when I
totally.
was 21.
Yeah. That's the big problem.
They closed
is you
our-
can't even move in those bars.
Our favorite bar in West Hollywood is no longer open.
Which one?
Fubar. Hopefully it opens
Oh my
back
god, I
up.
remember Fubar.
Yeah, I mean, they're still on hiatus.
They've been doing
It's
pop-up
not
nights.
like permanently
Okay.
closed.
So they've been
but
doing
yeah.
like special events, but they haven't been
But
open
it's,
7 days
it's
a
one
week.
of those things
Yep.
when you walk a little bit further out, you start seeing things like, I mean, the first thing you see is Motherlode, where it's like, oh, this bar has exposed brick walls and a pool table, and guys are in here just in jeans and t-shirts. And you're just like, when you're like 23 or 24, and all you knew was, I got to go to WeHo and I got to go to the Abbey. I got to go to Rage. It's like, oh, there's a more chill space that's just like a regular bar, and like, you know,
Right.
things like that. And then your eyes open up going, oh, you don't have to only do it this way. You don't only have to go the club route. You can, you know, and it doesn't even revolve around nightlife. It can be
Right.
anything, you know. And,
Yeah.
and when, you know, sometimes you need somebody to tell you, you know, there's no one way to be a lesbian, you know. So yeah, when that scene in particular, I was just like, oh man, that's cool, because
It's good advice for young people.
Absolutely.
Gay people, young gay people think, well, if I'm gay, I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to buy the Birkenstocks. I'm going to have to, you know, go work at the flower shop.
I feel like they touch on these kind of like self-growth and acceptance things in a way that is very like tender and sincere without being saccharine.
Yes.
Or
Or
like
too
heavy-handed.
preachy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not too like kumbaya,
Yeah,
precious,
yeah.
like, but still sweet.
Yeah. Because, yeah, like we said, we see the boys watching Mike working on a car, and we see the girls on their hands and knees scrubbing the floor.
Yeah.
That's what the girls are doing during the day. 'Cause it's-
Vacuuming in synchronization, like
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Yeah, like we know that that's all played for, like, you know, for the joke of the gender role, you
Yeah.
know, stereotypes.
And it's an opportunity for them to get closer and rub shoulders with each other.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah. But all that stuff does give way, yeah, like you said, for some really good comedy
Some
stuff.
good comedy,
especially
yeah.
when the boys are chopping wood and throwing the axes.
screaming and running away with their hands flailing behind them. Or like playing like army.
Yeah.
You've got those like metal cutouts that look like the little soldiers, little toy soldiers.
Oh, man, yeah. Yeah, all that stuff.
Do you know what this production design gives me? And I was reading on the Wikipedia that he was a big inspiration for the director is David LaChapelle.
Yeah.
Especially of how the bedrooms look.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen sort of the David LaChapelle photos from the 90s?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that absolutely makes
Well,
sense.
we were talking about, is it in the girls' bathroom that the walls are just covered
completely
in
daisies. And even the mirror, the frame of the
Yeah.
mirror is too, like, there is not a single
Yeah.
spot of wall on there.
And it's not wallpaper. It's actual, like,
you can see the texture.
fake daisies
Fake
that they,
flowers.
like, glued onto the wall. So it's like, wow, that's insanity.
like-
but that is very David LaChapelle.
Yeah.
Babbitt says her influence for the look and feel of the film included John Waters, David LaChapelle, Edward Scissorhands,
100%.
and Barbie.
See?
I can see a lot of Barbie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we all called all that.
Oh yeah. Natasha Lyonne's got that little pink comb, like Polly Pocket accessory looking hair clip. Like, it's also very cute.
Yeah, that comb barrette. I was like, oh my god,
Precious.
Yeah, because it's an accessory for your doll, but you can
And
also
for you.
use it as a
Exactly.
barrette. So good. So let's see. Oh, they sneak it. Yeah, we talked a little bit about them sneaking out with
The Gay Underground Railroad.
the gay
Larry and Lloyd.
Larry and Lloyd.
in their little gray camo with their rainbow patches.
The one boy that goes with them is
It's the Latin kid,
Andre.
It's
Andre.
Yeah.
Yep.
That first time they go out.
Because Clayton has to go to like solitary confinement.
He was sent to
in
the
his
literal
little house.
doghouse.
The literal dog.
The literal doghouse because he was caught making out with Dolph, with Dante Basco.
Because Megan, she
ratted them out.
Squealed.
Oh,
She squealed literally, which called attention, and then
Yeah.
she actually verbally ratted them out too.
Yeah.
I mean, these
So
boys
sad.
kind of picked a poor place to make out.
They certainly
Can't
did.
they do it like
They
back
could've-
behind the barn or
They could
something?
have found a better
But she
spot.
wasn't being a very good ally in that moment.
Not at all. Not at all. But yeah, they should have gone out to
And
the
then
woods.
Clayton literally gets taken to the doghouse. And while I know the situation was bad, I can't say I would be necessarily opposed to a strict older woman locking me in a doghouse for the night.
Oh man. And Dolph gets straight up expelled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He admits to it being like that he started it.
Yeah.
Mary demands to know who started it. And so Dolph gets exiled and Clayton gets sent to the doghouse.
Yes. Sad.
Didn't get to go to the gay bar.
No, yeah.
Kathy Moriarty's delivery when she's barking all of them orders on her megaphone it's so good. I know this type of role and character was not on the radar of like best supporting actress of the year 2000, but I mean she gets my vote. I think
She nails it.
I think she's so funny in this movie.
Yeah.
And kind of makes me want to have seen her more in movies.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. I do want to talk a little bit about the cocksucker.
I mean,
Go on.
Pete and I have been in our fair share of cocksucker bars. I mean, it pretty much looks like our local gay bar.
I was going to say, it
Pasadena.
just looks like your average small town gay bar.
Yeah.
It's just
I was
dark.
like, is this the offbeat?
Yeah.
For a
feels like
second.
the offbeat for sure. It's just dark and dark. And
Yeah. A little bit of neon in
Yeah.
some strategic
little,
places.
little neon signs.
yeah, just like bar area, little teeny dance floor, and that's it.
I didn't see a curtain, like a
the spangly silver,
spangly silver or
Yeah.
gold curtain.
Production design didn't do their homework. It's shameful.
because where are the drag queens going to perform? in front of?
Exactly.
You got to have the tinsel curtain on one end, but yeah, it does very much feel just like this is your small town gay bar that they just found.
Because obviously, like, they're not literally in Santa Clarita, but wherever they are in the movie universe has to be just some little, like, whatever drive-by towns.
Yep.
That's what that town's gay bar would look like for sure.
Yeah, totally. And this is where we see Julie Delpy as lipstick lesbian. And
I wish that girl would be at that bar, but she's not
hanging out
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
if Julie Delpy is going out for drinks here.
No,
Yeah.
certainly not. But it'd be nice if she were.
Yeah, with her French accent. So, would you like to dance? It's like, okay.
Yes, I'll do anything you say.
But that's where is this where
we sort of get the big moment between Megan and Graham?
Yes.
their first moment? Yeah, I think
Their
it's the
first fight.
time.
Because you sort of get a little jealousy as she's dancing with her.
Yeah.
Because Megan takes the goth girl.
No,
Sinead.
Graham dances
Graham
with the
dances
goth-
with the
because
goth-
Sinead
Graham dances
has
with the goth girl.
expressed interest
Yep.
in Graham a couple times throughout the
Yes.
movie.
She's zapping herself while she's thinking about Graham.
She's got like a spotlight under her cover. She's going crazy. And yeah, Megan is with lipstick lesbian Julie Delpy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she's jealous.
Mm-hmm.
She hates it. And it seems like Sinead might even be aware and playing it up as
Oh,
she
totally,
ever so
yeah.
emphatically slides her hand down Graham's back and grabs a handful of her butt cheek.
Yes.
And Megan just storms out.
And those diesel jeans.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's like
I
Clea Duvall's look is very like pre-Shane from L Word. Like,
yes, definitely
very
much her.
tight.
Yeah.
Very tight dress shirt. Hip
Button down. Yeah.
low-rise jeans.
Yep. She just needs like a. Doesn't she wear a fedora a lot?
Oh,
that
God,
character.
I hope not.
think she did. Yeah. Oh man. So they don't get caught.
Kathy Moriarty finds a matchbook.
They don't get caught going back to True Directions.
No.
She finds
But
them
they get
and
caught the
later
night
on.
after Megan and Graham have their little moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to say Graham kind of she has some misdirection when they're being taken aside of, we know that you've snuck out. I have the matchbook to prove it. And Graham, I think you're responsible, because then she says that I have feelings for Joel. As just sort of misdirection.
Yeah.
That
I realized something.
That gets her out of it.
Yeah. For Joel.
Mary gets a little tear in her eye, too. She's so
Joel.
proud.
Yeah. It's funny. Anytime they lie, Mary's just like, okay.
She just
let- yeah.
eats it
Immediately
right
buys
up.
it. Mhm.
Yeah.
With a son like Rock, you might have to learn how to eat some lies up
This is
gratefully.
true. This is true. And I think she just wants to believe that she's like
She's making a difference.
successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
As anybody running a conversion therapy camp would want to feel.
Oh God. Yeah. So, at one point, the really butch girl,
Jan?
yeah, when she leaves, I feel so bad.
I
for
know.
her. She's like, just because I wear baggy pants and I play softball and I'm not as pretty as the other girls, I'm just like,
I know. That hurt
Yeah.
my heart.
yeah.
She's like, I just can't help it if I want a big fat wiener. And Andre's in the back like, amen, sister.
Amen. Yeah, I love that. And so she just leaves on her own because she's just like,
And
she
good
just
for
has a
her.
revelation. Yeah, I'm heterosexual.
Or maybe, this was kind of before the time that really trans terms were that mainstream, but maybe there's a little trans going on with this character that she identifies as a type of gay man.
Sure, yeah.
That's what I kind of buy.
Yeah,
Or like,
okay.
that's what I kind of get
Right.
from this character.
Yeah, because Mike's not buying it. Mike's
No.
like, all right, stop lying to yourself. So, but I think it's kind of funny when he gets up and like chases after her. But yeah. And to hear RuPaul say, Jan, running after Jan.
Let's work on this with puppets.
You're safe, Jan. Oh. So, but eventually Megan does get kicked out. Right.
After her and Graham's torrid makeout sesh.
Yes.
That was the first time I ever saw like a teen movie makeout scene complete with close-up mouth breathing shots and like super like the music, the swelling music.
Yes.
I had
Yeah.
never seen that done with two women before. I remember being like really young and just being like, oh my God, this is the first one of these scenes that does make me want to absolutely yak.
Yeah.
Like watching straight people make out like that, I cannot do it. I do not want to watch that.
Yeah.
But I actually found that scene very like sweet, A, watchable, and B, like it felt very sweet. And now thinking about how Clea was closeted during the most like sentimental, tender, young exploration of bodies. That must have been like,
yeah, totally. And you know what this movie does? We talked about it at the beginning when the straight couples are making out. It's very grotesque and over the top, and it's very like parody.
Yeah.
But this scene is shot in a completely different way. The way they're making out,
got
is
the soft focus filters
more
on.
sensual.
Yeah.
So,
Tender.
Yeah. But it's interesting. It's funny that you say that. We're watching the new Chucky series, right, on Sci-Fi Channel. And the main character, the protagonist, is gay. And the kids in this movie are in high school. And the actors are actual teenagers.
Imagine
which
that.
Refreshing.
Right.
Yeah.
Not 26-year-olds.
Yeah. And so the main character on the show, he's gay, and he has a crush that he's kind of following along. And in one of the episodes, they actually kiss. and they're like 15, and I
my
didn't
gosh.
expect it. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
those two boys just kissed and they showed it. I was just, I
We're
was
a
just
long
like,
way from 99,
wow.
baby.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
like, oh my good, this is basic cable.
But
Wowzers.
that's really like, I haven't seen it, so that's really like refreshing
Yeah.
to hear, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's not obviously a hot take, but just representation.
Yeah.
Really, even just for something simple as your first kiss with the
Yeah.
guy, it doesn't have to be some big thing, but just to be able to see that and know, like, okay, this
Yeah.
is on cable, like,
yeah, totally, very much a different landscape.
Yeah.
from 1999, from the year 2000. So, but so Megan gets kicked out. I love when she makes her way to the other house, and you know, like I was saying, it's kind of like the other end of the opposite side of the coin, because Mary has her walls pink and blue and very stereotypical, but then when you go in this house, the walls are literally rainbow.
it looks
flag.
like CVS at the Pride Parade.
Yeah.
Dolph greets them wearing the Target rainbow
Literally,
Yeah.
I was
jumpsuit
like,
that was just on
Spencer's-
sale.
Spencer's
this
pajamas,
past summer.
like,
Yeah.
Summer, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so even the gay people are not getting a pass in this movie.
Yeah.
No.
They're still like, all right,
They're
you-
just
you
sort
guys
of
need to-
they're equally as
Yeah.
lampooned as
Yeah.
the straight people are.
Yeah, and I thought that was funny.
And we
'Cause-
got that incredibly sweet moment of communication where Larry and Lloyd kind of misconstrue
Oh,
each other.
yeah.
It's, well, you're moving into your defensive space.
yeah, very cute. But yeah, I'm just watching it, and just like the cloth napkins, because they're setting the table, and the cloth napkins have a red ribbon on them. You know, just like everything in this house is just like, we're gay, you know, just like any gay bookstore in like a gayborhood, you know, in the mid 2000s.
How many rainbows can we squeeze into this shot?
Yeah. Yeah. So I love that. And yeah, Dante Basco's costume, this suit, it's like, oh,
Precious.
oh boy, it's crazy. But it's good to see that Dolph's been living there, you know.
I always get sad when he leaves.
Yeah, it sucks.
And then I have to remind myself, no. Like, it's good that he's leaving.
Yeah.
This is the halfway home we want him to go.
Yeah. No, because it's sad when he leaves. You're just like, oh man, he's getting kicked out. He's got his suitcases and everything. But yeah, you're right. You don't want to stay at True Directions.
No, it's you definitely getting kicked out is how you win.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and that's where they kind of formulate this plan to like infiltrate the graduation.
It's kind of the big graduate moment of the movie.
Yeah.
Of just sort of the big climax that it's almost set up like a wedding.
Yes.
That these
Yes, it
characters
is.
are
Yeah.
like marrying their heterosexuality, and this is like the big.
We've got an altar. We've
Yeah.
got rows of white seats. All their parents are in the audience. They're in the pews or whatever. They're all dressed in
And
crisp
all
white.
Yeah.
Natasha Lyonne is the Dustin Hoffman character that's going to save her girlfriend.
Yeah. And you know,
Their outfits. So I just their outfits
yeah.
are just it's like they're almost like PVC looking.
yeah, it was like vinyl-ish.
Yeah, vinyl exactly. These like vinyl like debutante oh my gosh, yeah, it's something else.
And the guys are in suits, and
Also vinyl.
also vinyl, and pink and blue. And we've at this point now we've lost several of our kids.
Yes.
you know?
Yeah, we've lost Andre. Andre didn't make it past the last test.
He didn't even test out, and Clayton didn't show up.
Yeah. Well, Clayton shows up.
No,
but
he shows
gets
up, then he runs.
dragged
That's
yeah,
right.
He runs away because because Dolph kind of like snags him. So Joel is the only boy that makes it down the aisle, and Kathy Moriarty's just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, she sees the empty spot. She's like,
Yeah. And I like Mary's look at the end. She's got this like French twist, like updo.
Yeah.
And she's in all white, you know. But
a lot of smart pantsuits,
yes.
or skirt suits, I should say, not
Yes.
pants, because that would be
No.
something else.
Yeah. She's definitely in skirts the entire time. Modesty. I never understood modesty and dressing for. I mean, I'm not that kind of fundamentalist religious person, so I know it's like religion and all that. But to me, in my head, you know, it's modesty dress and women not being able to wear trousers because
Right.
it's because of a modesty issue. And I'm like, But skirts show a little bit more leg than pants do.
But we wouldn't want to have you looking like a
Crotch.
man.
Yeah, looking like a man.
So sitting like that,
Yeah.
that would enable you.
It
That would enable you
leads
to sit like a man.
Leg crossing.
You can't do that in skirts.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Pencil
So,
skirts, especially not.
yeah, you're right about that. It's probably that.
It's more of a
looking
like
man.
gender like
Enforcing gender roles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh well, good thing I'm not a clothing designer or a modest
for Christians.
woman. Yeah.
Or a modest woman.
So, this graduate moment. She comes in her full cheerleader outfit. I love it.
Yeah, she changes out of her blue camo to
After
the
ditching her
cheerleading outfit.
camo.
Yeah.
But she brought her pom poms with her.
She does a little, just a little cheer to win her back.
Yeah. And you're right. You guys mentioned the camo. She does this like army crawl.
Oh yeah.
Grabs Graham as she's walking down the aisle, and she's just like, "Nope."
She tries to get her to go then.
Yeah. And Graham says, "No, I'm not. I can't
She's
go
like,
with
I'm sorry,
you."
I can't.
Yeah. But then this cheer just kind of wins her over. Yeah. But before we do see Dolph and Kip Pardue.
Clayton,
Dolph and Clayton.
Yeah.
absolutely sucking face
Yeah.
behind that tree, just devouring each other.
They are fully going for it.
And Megan comes back, she's like, that was quick.
Yeah.
She's all salty about it.
Yeah, just because at that point Graham had already been like...
She got curved once.
Yeah. So after they ride off in the back of the truck, is that just kind of we go off into the sunset together?
I think so.
Yeah.
Eventually, Graham decides that she's like after the cheer, after that earth shattering moment, they run off together.
Yeah.
In the back of that pickup truck.
I like to think that Joel will meet up with them in a few months when he sees clearly this is not working out for him.
Yeah, because he gets his like diploma or whatever.
It'll work out. It'll work out eventually for this character.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Poor Joel.
He wants it real bad.
Yeah.
I need to reach out to this actor to come on our show. I think he would.
Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Joel Michael. Yeah.
Joel, if you're listening,
Give him a call. Yeah. And anybody else. Natasha, you're welcome on the show too. Clea, Natasha, Michelle Williams.
Sure.
Come on over. Yeah. I know you're busy, but we're flexible.
There's always a seat on the couch. Bring Matilda. We've got Legos. Meanwhile, Matilda's like 14. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, this movie's so fun.
Yeah, I think it's a movie that's aged really well. I was mentioning it before we got on mic, but there was a few movies in the past 3 years that had to do with conversion therapy.
Yeah.
The Miseducation of Cameron Post with Chloe Grace Moretz and Boy
that's
Erased.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
the Chloe Moretz one, I forgot about.
Both
that one.
were very sincere and serious movies, and kind of no shade about those two movies, and those are kind of good in their own merits. I liked Boy Erased. I didn't love it, but I do think there's something about the angle of this material that Jamie Babbitt does that I think it's a little more successful in reaching its audience by making people laugh.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like this subject matter is so heavy and so kind of depressing.
It's not really a laughing matter, but
Yeah.
I think Jamie really makes the satire of it work.
Yeah.
And I think that the message when you exit the movie is really strong, too, because of it.
Yeah. And I do really like that, both sides do kind of get skewered a little bit.
Yeah. It's kind of equal in how it satirizes.
Yeah. They're not super militant, quote unquote, like gays or whatever, but it is a little over the top as far as their,
we're coming to rescue you.
Yeah. And the rainbow flag, everything.
It makes me kind of wonder how a movie like this would go down with young people now. That, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I think that sometimes satire goes
over their head,
goes over young people's head a little bit
because so many
more.
people have been doing it wrong and calling it satire for a very long time. Like the waters get muddy.
Yeah,
that I think that sometimes people just like to take certain things at face value too.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is so over the top that it can't be
unmissable.
How can you treat something like this seriously?
Yeah. And Yeah. And also maybe people who are not familiar with it or younger or Gen Z people or whatever, maybe seeing it and seeing somebody like RuPaul and just being like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's
crazy.
Maybe that's also just sort of you're into the material.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But just some of the cast, just seeing them are just like, holy shit. Yeah. Eddie Cibrian, he's good for eye candy. I don't know what's going on with him lately.
He doesn't say. I don't
cuckoo.
think he says one single word.
Yeah, I think he just says "mom."
Yeah, when she gets mad at him for drinking like juice
Yeah.
out of the cup with a silly straw, just chug it like a man.
Oh my God, the simulated sexual lifestyle.
Oh, we didn't
step
even
5.
talk.
We didn't
Oh,
even talk about
we
that.
breezed
Where they're all in their Adam and Eve
The fig leaves covering the important
onesie
parts.
in their fig leaves.
The girls literally have a flower.
and doing these sexual positions with Clea Duvall. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my God,
just doing push-ups on top of her.
Literally, she has that same like 1,000-yard stare that
Yeah.
Natasha Lyonne does when she's being like deeply tongued by her football star boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's like, please get me out of here.
Yeah, totally. Oh, man.
Somebody asked about foreplay, I think, and there's
Yeah.
foreplay is for sissies. Real men, go in there, unload, and get out of there.
Oh man, that line is crazy.
she's literally in a like director's chair too, which
Yeah.
cracked
Yeah.
me up.
Yeah, and you're right, Scott. She's got a megaphone, like
barking out these orders.
Yeah.
We love you, Kathy Moriarty.
Yeah, just screaming out "rock" with that voice. You're like, oh man, so crazy. Yeah, and that's some of the time when he does kind of have a couple words, but he's just saying "mom." She's just like, all right,
this
thrust.
is our second Kathy Moriarty movie that we've done. So she is an MTMUG All-Star. She was in Soap Dish.
Soap Dish.
And the
there you go.
kind of questionable subplot that might not age well on Soap Dish. But
Not
because,
familiar.
Yeah.
she plays a trans.
Okay, got you.
character.
A trans
Yeah.
character in Soap
Yeah.
Dish. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, and it's like a huge secret, and it's like her secret shame and all that. But you know,
But it's
it was
kind
the
of
90s.
well, and it's also kind
We're
of
still
going.
doing that nowadays.
It's
Yeah.
also
Casting.
kind of
True.
going with like soap opera reveals too.
Yeah, I think
So
that's
it sort of
yeah,
works
yeah.
with the material
Gotcha.
that they're
Yeah,
doing.
Yeah. But yeah, we love Kathy Moriarty.
She was nominated for Raging Bull. She was nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
That's right.
She got an Oscar and a BAFTA nomination for that. She's really good.
Go
in Raging
Kathy.
Bull.
And who does she ask in this movie if they want to grow up to be a raging bull dyke?
Oh, is it's Graham or Jan?
Yeah. And that's when Scott said, she was in Raging Bull.
Yeah. A raging bull dyke.
We were like, ooh. Heyo.
Yeah.
When I was young, I did used to mistake her for Sybil Shepherd.
I can see that.
I
That
thought
similar
that
look.
like is that who's on the grown-up show Sybil? But I mean,
That
I'd
show
imagine
for
that
adults and parents.
I'd imagine that both those actresses probably got compared to each other a lot.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Especially in the 80s.
I'm sure they did. Once you hear them speak, I think the comparisons end.
Yeah.
But their look is very similar. Yeah. But Sybil Shepherd was the only one that played Martha Stewart in a made-for-television movie.
This is true. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Kathy Moriarty, she is in The Chipmunk Adventure.
In this
that
movie, she
her?
kind
No,
of
I feel like
That's somebody else.
they pretty much just animated that character
To look like
to
her.
just
Okay.
be Kathy Moriarty in Raging Bull.
Okay. Got it.
I feel like Kathy Moriarty in this movie reminds me a bit of Christine Baranski.
Yes.
Like that kind of upturned, like blonde, prim, proper thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, also Kathy Moriarty, kind of one of those actresses that you think that I haven't seen her in anything in years, but when you look on her IMDb, like she's booked and blessed. Like she still works a lot. Like she might not
Good.
be
Good for
in
her.
big
Good for you,
movies,
Kathy.
but
Yeah.
I mean she's definitely still working.
What's Kathy been up to in the last couple of years?
I remember that she was on the Versace American Crime Story.
Okay.
She has a little bit role in that.
Versace.
She was in a movie called Last Call with Jeremy Piven. Interesting. Okay.
But just working, but a lot of
so
just weird
just
stuff.
I mean,
yeah.
she was in,
Odds and ends.
Yeah.
she kind of does. She was in Patty Cakes with Danielle McDonald. I've been meaning to see that. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, she still works.
Cool. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, good for her. We love her. Go watch Casper, listeners.
Yeah.
It's got other...
I think I know all of her dialogue in Casper.
Yeah. And it's got the other movies that made us gay all-star, Christina Ricci.
Yep.
We've done several projects with Christina, and we'll continue to work
to work with her
in our heads.
So is there anything else that we've left
know,
unturned for But I'm a Cheerleader?
I'm trying to think.
Go watch it, kids. It's on Tubi and Pluto.
deals with stuff that's real, but it still leaves you feeling good.
Yeah,
without
yeah.
it being a saccharine like Disney movie feel.
Yeah, totally.
And like that you mentioned at the top of the show, I mean, Pete and I, and probably you, Zoe, we've seen our fair share of shitty gay comedies.
Yeah.
That there are many
drivel.
of them.
Like
that I feel like younger people, when they watch movies like Call Me By Your Name, that they're kind of a little spoiled that...
Right. But also, Call Me By Your Name, isn't Timothée Chalamet underage in that?
Yeah.
So we can back that one right on up.
But I mean, just kind of these
something with a little more
these very
substance.
beautiful, polished looking gay movies.
Capital F films.
I mean, that is definitely not the types of gay movies that Pete and I were once used to watching.
No, certainly not.
And we have seen all of the Eating Out movies.
Yes,
starring Mink Stole.
Starring Mink Stole.
Mink Stole has definitely done her time.
Yeah.
In shitty queer cinema.
Oh man, I think the first, probably like Heavenly Creatures was the first like one of the first gay relationships I saw, and that is super toxic, as we have already touched on earlier in the podcast.
Yeah. But a well done movie.
The first like very that's what I meant to say. The first very like artsy, like by an auteur, that sort of thing, like highbrow.
We need to, if we get you back on, which I'm sure that we will. We should have you do a Heavenly Creatures episode.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to talk about. I would love to talk about that movie.
That'd be fun. Yeah. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was awesome. Thank you guys so much.
It's good to see you. I miss you at work, but you're busy studying in San Diego.
Oh, I'm busy turning my brain to mush. No,
it happens.
I honestly I am loving. I'm loving my super gay internship at my school's LGBT resource center.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's paid too, which we love.
Oh yeah, definitely. We love paid internship.
I know. I was making sure. It's like, I'm not going to apply to this if it's not no, please. I'm already broke enough as a college student. Like, you're not going to get my labor and not pay me for it.
Oh my god.
But I miss you guys at work too.
Well, this was so much fun. We'll definitely have you on again, and maybe we'll make that work for.
Yeah. I'll be home for 3 weeks over winter break.
Yeah,
I'll be back here in a couple weeks.
Cool. Stay in school, kids. We love
and be true
education.
to yourselves.
Yes. Yeah. So, but until then, this was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
And we'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
And thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Good start to December.
Yes, indeed.
And by the way, Pete.
Yes?
It is your birthday today.
What?
We are recording this episode on Pete's birthday.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hey, thank you. Thanks, everybody, for listening. This was a really fun episode.
Mm-hmm.
Love, but I'm a cheerleader. But I do think it is that time.
Patreon shout-outs?
Some Patreon shout-outs.
Oh.
We would love to say hello and thank you to all of our wonderful patrons: Alberto, Esperanza, Nicole, Susan, Barry, JJ, Layton, Shelby, Michael, Charlie, Heather, Paul, Jamie, Drew, Jimmy, Genevieve, Dawn, Josh, Emma, Millie, Aaron, Melinda, and Jim, Jessica, Nick, and Shannon, Christine.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. Head over to patreon.com/movies that made us gay for some additional extra content, fun stuff like commentary tracks.
We just did one Thanksgiving weekend for Adam's Family Values.
Mm-hmm. So check your Patreon app for that. And there's also newsletter, postcards, behind-the-scenes photos, playlists, really fun stuff that we have.
There should be a new newsletter by the time this episode comes out.
Mm-hmm. And I think we might be doing a new holiday music playlist soon that we'll be posting.
Mm-hmm.
So check back for that. So that's over on patreon.com/movies that made us gay. We'd also love it if you follow us, subscribe on any and all the social media
You name
apps
it, we're
and
probably
stuff.
there.
Yeah, we're there. But head over to Apple Podcasts and give us 5 stars.
Yeah, helps with the tracking and algorithms. Helps us show up in the film reviews charts.
Yes, indeed. And while you're there, why don't you go ahead and leave us a review?
Give us 5 stars.
Yeah. Write us a review. Leave it there. We'll read it on the air. We love all of the wonderful reviews that we get all the time. And we haven't had a review in a while. So if you leave us a review, we'll definitely read it. We'll post it on Instagram, all that fun stuff. Speaking of Instagram, follow us there and Facebook at Movies That Made Us Gay. Instagram and Facebook.
And on Twitter at NTMUGPod.
Yes, indeed. You can both follow the two of us as well. My name is Pete. I am at Peter Lasagna on Instagram and Twitter.
I'm Oscar Scott on Twitter, Scott Youngballer on Instagram, and look up my letterbox.
Yes,
see what I'm watching.
Yes, indeed. Go ahead and do that. Until next time, everybody, we will see you very, very soon. Happy December, y'all. Bye.
Bye.